Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Holanda Williams, and today I'll be presenting my practicum part 2, seminar 3, which is the reflections and feed forward. All right, so let's get into it. My practicum topic is a review of retention strategies and recommendations for improvement at MarketLinks Global Jamaica Limited. Now, for the background, call centers have high rates of attrition, up to 45% annually worldwide. And in market links, particularly, we've recognized that each year it has been steadily increasing above what has been forecasted, going as high as 42% in 2019. This research is important because the cost of replacing employees is extremely high. Additionally, there's lost earnings when billable employees leave the company, and also when new employees are hired to replace old employees, there is a period where they go through their learning curve before they're able to gain mastery. So the company loses in that period. So, appropriate retention strategies are needed to strengthen employee engagement, to save money and to save time, and prevent employee attrition. My problem statement is suitable retention plans are essential to increase retention rates within Markelinks Global Limited, a call center in Jamaica. The company data shows annual attrition rates are as high as 42%, which can lead to an increased amount of expenditure to backfill and also the loss of earnings. This practicum will take place at my place of employment, Markelinks Global Limited, which is a customer service center in Jamaica. All right. So Markelinks employs a matrix organizational structure, which basically means that there is persons have a dual reporting structure. Basically, they usually report to a direct manager and like a departmental head. So that design is used to better support employees. It helps to share best practices and it allows for continuous improvement and desired business outcomes. So there are multiple reporting managers, there are direct and a departmental manager, and it helps to facilitate the smooth movement of information through the company to employees. This is a picture of the administrative structure as it is right now at MarketLinks Global Service. What is the focus of the practicum and the rationale? So the focus of this mixed study is to evaluate the current retention strategies in MarketLinks Global and determine their efficacy as well as suggest recommendations for improvement. The rationale is that employee attrition in call centers contribute an ever-increasing cost yearly. Therefore, organizations seek to create appropriate, adequate retention strategies to keep employees and reduce the cost that needs to be spent to replace them. This study will also help to add to the limited existing material on call center attrition in Jamaica. The main objectives of this practicum are to determine if the existing strategies in the organization continue to contribute to improved employee retention, to determine how particular retention strategies benefit the organization, to determine the gaps in the current retention strategies, and also to make recommendations to stakeholders in the organization so that the retention strategies may be improved. All right, let's look at our theoretical framework. Now, the review will be conducted of the retention strategies of MarketLinks against established theories below so that any deficiencies in them can be pinpointed that may prevent them from delivering the company's objective. All right, the first one that we're going to look at is job satisfaction in light of needs. This basically advances that when a company meets its employees' esteem needs, this tends to lead to greater retention. Also, looking at employees as customers of the business, which helps the business to motivate employees to remain with them, similarly to how customers of a business, when they're loyal, they'll stay and support that business. All right, so the literature review is going to examine important areas that are important to the discussion on employee retention, such as reasons companies should be concerned by high attrition rates, factors contributing to attrition, and also suggest strategies for improvement. So here are some of the main reasons companies should be concerned by high attrition. Firstly, it negatively impacts organizations' ability to attain objectives. It directly affects cost through hiring. It directly affects cost through replacement, and also it has severe staffing implications depending on the rate of attrition. Also, when companies review attrition trends, then they're able to create appropriate corrective actions to prevent and minimize attrition. What are some of the reasons for high attrition? So, firstly, displeasure with retention factors such as work life balance, career advancement, supervisor support, and compensation. This was presented by Dan Pat in 2018. Additionally, call center workers have reported feeling pressure to meet ever increasing standards and targets. This was presented by Anna Thram and others in 2018. And finally, lack of benefits, subpar working conditions, insufficient growth, and opportunities in call centers have also been advanced as reasons for persons leaving, and this was advanced in Zito and others in 2018. What are some strategies for improving attrition? So, firstly, it is important for companies to enhance the link between employees and organizational values so that the retention strategies can be effective. And this was advanced by Presbyterian others in 2015. And also, retention strategies that are crafted around factors that promote job satisfaction among workers are also deemed to be more effective. This was also presented by Dan Fatt and others in 2018. All right, what is the methodology? So this study is a mixed method study which incorporates both quantitative and qualitative data. Now, when you look at mixed method, it basically means that we use the strengths of both the qualitative and the quantitative method to come to a more rounded and complete understanding of the topic being explored through the use of multiple perspective and lenses, which allows for a more comprehensive, a broader perspective on the topic. It allows us to have more comprehensive data, and it is complementary. Both methods complement each other for a deeper level of research. So the qualitative outlook will lead us to gain insight on persons' reality that may be influenced by different experiences, while the quantitative aspect will provide explanations to aid the research in formulating theories and answering questions. When we combine both of them, it helps us to ensure that there's a more robust research, as one's weakness is the other's strength, and this helps to close any gaps that are identified, which is particularly important throughout the research. For data collection, or primary methods will be interviews, focus groups, and questionnaires distributed to program managers, team managers, and frontline staff. And for secondary method, peer-reviewed journals and internal company records. So these are some strategies that would be employed to ensure trustworthiness. Now, when we talk about trustworthiness, it looks at the reliability and the validity of a research and how it adheres to protocols so that the results may be accepted. Reliability can be attained by ensuring transferability, credibility, confirmability, and dependability. This was advanced by Golafasani in 2015. While validity concerns experiences and credibility of a researcher who must confirm tools used reflect items investigated, assess the data gathered from respondents, and verify documentation process is carefully done. And this was advanced by Baumgarten in 2013. Now, here are some ethical considerations. Firstly, ethical considerations really think about the rules stipulating how overall practices should be done when the data is being collected, and also how it is handled afterwards. So, important concepts such as informed consent, confidentiality, communication of results, and voluntary cooperation. Voluntary cooperation. These were advanced by Olanirin and Barwu in 2020. All right, these are our feed forward. So initially, when we did our seminar 2, we spoke about some of the issues that were being experienced. So for example, personal issues experienced by the researcher presented a challenge to complete activities in the allotted time. As a way to as a way to address that in the feed forward, what I did was to build what my recommendation and what I learned is that it is important to build a buffer time in important projects to account for unforeseen circumstances that may occur. That way, when something does happen, it's not going to throw off the whole research. Secondly, there was a challenge completing and compiling attrition data that was being presented differently by each program being reviewed. So what I learned from that experience was that it's important to communicate potential roadblocks to support teams when working on projects so that that helps to prevent the delays, because by communicating that to the respective HR managers, I was able to get assistance so that the attrition data could be collected. Thirdly, there was an unexpected peak being experienced on some programs that affected the availability of participants. What I learned from that was that flexibility is necessary when working with others to prevent impact on the program. So I now had to change some schedules for interviews to ensure that I was able to get the participation from respondents. And finally, unexpected expiration of a licenses agreement for the tool that records a company's attrition, it caused a delay. And what I learned from that was that it's important to create alternate ways where possible to access information that is crucial for the project. Because the fact that the license expired, it took a while and there was a delay of a couple of days to get the attrition details. All right, what is the conclusion? So retention strategies should be used to satisfy employees and decrease attrition rates in call centers. However, current attrition trends are steadily climbing in market links and the industry generally, which shows that these strategies in place need to be revamped. The literature reviewed suggests that greater effort should be placed on improving employee and organization value fit, ensuring that persons being hired have the right mental health to cope with stressful conditions, and improving retention factors such as work-life balance, compensation, and supervisory report. Thank you. And then the pages going forward include the references used in this presentation.